Hey everyone, we're going to take a look at how easy it is to create hover effects for things like tooltips and the overlay system. So I'm going to create a new overlay. I'm just going to call it new overlay. And first off, I'm going to add a container node. And the container node is going to contain the buttons. So what I'm thinking is we're going to have a couple buttons, and when you hover over them, a tooltip or some sort of text will appear. And when you hover off of them, that text will disappear. And because you can assign multiple actions to nodes, you can also have click events and stuff on those buttons. Whether or not we get to that, we'll have to see. So I'm going to resize this. Maybe we'll put it down here like it's some sort of navigation bar or something. And inside that container, I'm going to add a couple of images, and I'm going to select this image, and I'll just select an icon that we've got here. I will choose, I don't know, maybe we'll have like a voting one so they can click the happy face or the sad face. And what I'll do is I don't want to adjust the sizing of this image. What I want to do is I want to have the container size all the images because that makes my life a lot easier. So what I'll do is I go to the container and I'll turn on the layout component here. I'm going to say, okay, well, this is going to be a row of things. And it says, hey, do you want to reset all your child node positions? And because I moved this one, the overlay system had set the top and the left of it. And so, yes, I want to reset all those. And I want the container to control all the children inside it. All right. So now if I go to this child and I look at the position, this is all turned off because the container is managing it all, which makes it very easy to do things like duplicate, poof, and now I've got another image which is exactly the same size, and it's now auto-magically lined up perfectly because the container's managing it. So I can just select this guy, and I can say, how about this is this sad icon, and then I'm going to duplicate that again just because, and this will be something else. Let's just pick maybe a chat, or this will be for support or something like that. Go back to the container. And we can adjust the different properties here. As you hover over these, it tells you exactly what they are. But we can do something like this, where we spread them out nice and evenly, and maybe we'll align them to the middle. Okay, so now if I go here and I select, ooh, look at this. This is the simulator here. So I'm simulating what it's going to look like on an iPhone X. Not ideal. So I'll go back to responsive. I'm going to click on my container here and see what's going on. And that is because I am, oops, let's do this. I'm going to align this to the bottom. So I'm going to say I want you to be 10 pixels from the bottom all the time. And maybe we will make this, well, here, why don't I just turn on the centering lines here, and I can just drag this. And you'll see the container snaps to where the center is. So I can plop it right down there. Turn that off. And there we go. So now if I go back to the iPhone X, sure enough, you can see it resizes nicely. And you'll notice that these size as well. So if I flip this into landscape mode, they spread out, all maintaining their relative sizes and positions. So you don't have to size each of these individually. You can use a container to do it. All right, so let's get out of here because we know it's going to behave properly. I'm just going to save this just in case. And now what I want to do is when someone hovers over this, I want to pop up a little message saying, click here to vote that you like it or something like that, right? So I can click on this guy, go into the actions panel. We'll tidy these up here. And I'll just click the plus button and I'll say, okay, well, let's do hover on. Okay. And what do I want to happen when someone hovers over that? Well, I want to turn on a node, right? What node do I want to turn on? Well, here we go, because I haven't created it yet. So I'm going to leave this here. And I'm going to go and I'm going to select the main background here. I'm going to insert, let's do a rich text node just because. And so I'm going to double click that to enter the content, and I'll say, click this to, I don't know, to vote your happiness. All right, so, and then we can click out of there and then resize a little bit. And we can put that, I don't know, right about there, okay? And what I'll do is I'll just add some rounded corners so it looks a little nicer. Click this to vote your happiness, and then I'll just center the text in there as well. That. And then the final piece of the puzzle is the size of it, because right now it's a set size. I just want to take that off, poof, and now it will size to fit whatever text content is in here. So if I add another space, it grows with it, and that is allowing the height to be dynamic. Okay, so this, I'm going to go into my layers area, and I'm going to name this happy text. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to name these because it makes my life so much easier. This is going to be the happy image. This guy's going to be the sad image. And this is going to be the support button. And we can leave container as it is. So we'll go back here and we're going to go into the actions. And here's our action we did before. So no visibility. We're going to say, okay, well, when you hover on, well, let's do, there's multiple ways we could do this. I'm going to show you a clever way to do things because that's, well, that's how we like to roll around here. I'm going to go toggle visibility. And what do I want to toggle? Well, I want to toggle happy text. Let's just demo this right now. So if I go into the preview mode and I hover over it, you can see as I hover on, it toggles it. Okay. Notice nothing happens when I hover off because we haven't set that up yet. Go over here, and just because I'm going to add an animation, and I'll just leave it at the default opacity one. Oops, I need to change this to on retrigger. I want to alternate between on and off, basically. So if I go here again, poof. Okay, toggles on and off. Now. Let's go here, and instead of recreating this whole hover effect again, I'm going to duplicate it. Right, so now I have two hover ons, which doesn't help me, and I want to change this one to a hover out. And because it's toggling, we can just leave everything as it is. And if I go into preview mode now, it disappears when I go on it, and reappears when I come off of it. Tim, you might be saying, that's kind of the exact opposite of what I want to happen. Well, that's right. And here is the magic. If I click this and I go into the layers and I start off happy text as hidden and then go back here again, it's going to toggle it opposite to what it starts as, right? So now we're getting the effect we want where we hover over it and it appears and we hover off of it and it disappears. If at any point you need to edit it or whatever, you just flick it on back here, do your editing, and then turn it back off again. Okay, so now if I save that and I just go into my demo snap I have here, and I'm going to open up the properties and set the overlay to use my new overlay. And I'll just close this down and we'll hide this guy. And so now if I hover over it, there we go. Works great. So that's how easy it is to get a hover effect going. If you want to do a click action, you would simply select this guy and then you double click him. You can get into the properties, add a new click action and say, okay, well, what do I want to happen when someone clicks it? Okay. And so you can layer all these actions together and they'll still work fine. So now you can have tooltips as well as click actions on any button that you want using overlays.